Okay, everybody, here we are doing project recipe number 1 for our class. For this class, we need 2 pieces of cardstock. We're going to use 1 blue and 1 aqua. And we're going to use 3 pieces of designer paper. For two of the pieces, you need, they're going to be bases, so you just need to worry about the one side of them. For your third piece, you want something that is double-sided, that you like both sides. So we're going to start first by cutting the cardstock. And we're going to start with, our first cut is going to be a border. If you're using a border punch, you want to use something that has an anchored end. Now, if you don't have a border punch, don't worry. If you want to use the border maker system, that's okay too. Again, use an anchor end. If you have the border maker system, the picket fence came with your kit, has the anchored end, and by anchored means it's not a chain. It doesn't fully separate from the paper. There are other anchored end ones like Cloud, but you want a border with the anchored end. If you don't have a border punch or a border maker cartridge, don't worry. Just follow along. Just skip this part. First, if you have a border maker, we're going to cut the border now. So in our border punch, we use the black lines to help us show where our image is going to be. So I'm going to start with my blue paper, and I'm going to put my paper into that black line there. And when I punch, I scoot the paper down. So using this template guide, when I see it match up, sorry, I can't see that. When I see the template guide match there, then I know it's time to punch again. I slide. I slide. And I slide. Might have been a little off. Okay, got a little edge on there. I'm not worried about it. I will just cut it off with my scissors in a minute. Okay. Move all these frayed sides into the trash and do the same thing with my aqua paper. Again, using the black line as a guide. Make that first punch on the black line. Okay, got the whole row. Again, another snurd. I'll have to find my scissors. Okay. Now, so we've got our borders cut out of both of our pieces of paper. We're going to get rid of my trash, and we're going to cut up our cardstock first. So we're going to need our 12-inch trimmer. And we're going to make some mats with this bordered edge. We want to cut 5 3/4. So the end of our bordered paper is going to line up to 5 3/4. We cut there. All right, now we're going to turn it sideways, and we're going to cut twice at 4 inches. Cutting it into 3 pieces. 4 inches and 4 inches. Okay, we just put those mats over to the side. Now with our piece that's remaining, we need 1 mat out of this. We have some extra paper. We're going to line it up at 4.5 vertically. Go down. We're not going to use this strip. Now we're turning this 4.5 inch wide piece like a hot dog to 6.5. We're going to get a nice 4.5 by 6.5 mat. We're not using this piece. So we've got 3 mats with the border edge cut. And we've got 1 4.5 by 6.5 mat. We're putting that to the side. Now we're going to do the same thing with our blue paper. Take the border up to 5 3/4. turn it like a hot dog. I see some snards I have to cut off. Cut it at 4 inches. Big one right there. Cut it again at 4 inches. And again at 4, well, we don't have to cut it because it leaves 4 inches. All right, the same cut with this. We're gonna make a mat, so we put it on 4.5. Cut off this strip. Everything is coordinating, so save it for later, certainly. And then turn it to 6.5. All right. Again, keeping the 4.5 by 6.5 and putting the other to the side. All right, now we're gonna cut our piece of designer paper. This is pretty basic. We're gonna use both sides of the designer paper. To start, we're gonna cut at 3.5 inches. No, I'm sorry, misspoke. We're gonna cut at 8.5 inches. Well, I've got my arm out there. 8.5 inches. That leaves a 3.5 inch piece. We're gonna put that to the side for the minute. Rotate our 8.5 inch piece to the 6 inch line. So in effect, we have now cut this in half. So we have two 8.5 by 6 inch rectangles. We have another little trick to do with them in a minute. Now we take our 3.5. Let's flip it over because we're going to use the opposite side. We're going to make two 3.5 inch squares. Cutting at 3.5 once, cutting at 3.5 twice, and then our last piece goes into our bonus pile. All right, now we're back to our rectangles, our big rectangles I told you we had a little extra bonus with. We're going to fold them in half lengthwise, make a gentle crease. Don't worry about the crease, it's not going to show up. Your pictures are going to be the highlight of the paper, of the page, not the creased paper, and much of it's going to be covered. Okay, now we're going to make a banner cut. How are we going to do that? We're going to make a mark 1 inch in from the end on the folded side. So this little track is my 0 mark right here, this first track. My 1 inch mark is right here. Now I'm going to put that mark on the track. And now I'm going to line up the bottom points, the opposite points, so they're also on the track. So I'm basically cutting a very flat triangle out of my rectangle. And now it's going to make a nice banner piece. Okay, do the same thing with the other piece. Fold it in half. Crease it. Make the 1 inch mark. Let's see. And cut. All right, our cutting is done. Hooray. Now let's put it together. So we had chosen 2 pieces of paper for our bases. Let's get them out. I like to operate side by side so I can see how things line up. So here are my 2 papers. I think you get a good glimpse of both of them here. I'm going to start by, I'm going to put my banners down, just enough room on the bottom. Again, we're not going to stick anything down. We're just laying things out right now. We can decide what color we like, what side we like better, and just kind of getting a feel for what it looks like. And now we're going to add our mats, our bordered mats. So we have 3 of each. So we're going to do, let's see, Could do blue, aqua blue on one. Aqua blue, aqua on the next. Looks like that's a little too high. I'll move that down. All right, so I need to adjust my banners a little bit so I can make room for my border on the top. So I'm going to scoot these down. Now these two mats that we cut go right here on top of the, go here right top. You can decide how you want them. If you want to switch them like this, if you want to put them opposite, however you like that. And now this side is, so double, these go into the little squares. You can use them to enhance, just make a smaller mat. Again, play with the reversal if you want. I kind of like the darker one on this side. Maybe I like the lighter one on this. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching.